So, this video is unusual. My channel doesn't do novel reviews. Well, this time it does. And if this goes well, it will continue. So, to add to the strangeness, I'm reviewing a Star Wars horror novel. Now, for those of you who aren't unaware of this gem, Death Troopers was the first of two Star Wars horror genre books. It has a prequel called Red Harvest, which I will review next. But Death Troopers, in my opinion, is the better of the two. Star Wars Death Troopers is written by author Joe Schreiber, who I am only familiar with these two Star Wars books by him, but would like to read more stuff from him. And I listened to the audio recording, which is narrated by Sean Keenan. Very good voice actor, very good narrator. So, this book is about some inmates on the prison barge Purge, which is an Imperial prison barge. Two of our main characters, Kale and Trig Longo, are two brothers whose father has just recently died on the prison barge at the hands of Jareth Sartoris, an Imperial officer on the Purge. Kale and Trig are in their teens, and they're trying to do a weapons deal with Miss, leader of the Delphinian Face Gang. Now, what does this have to do with zombies? Well, we'll get to there. So, the Purge runs into Vector, a Star Destroyer that's just adrift in space, which there are rumors about this happening, but there's no proof that whole crews just abandoned Star Destroyers in the middle of nowhere space. So, Sartoris takes a boarding party up to this Star Destroyer, and only half of them come back, and most of them are infected with this illness, which leads us to our other character, Dr. Zahara Cody, and her surgeon droid, Waste. Now, they're in charge of trying to keep this sickness contained. Unfortunately, it spreads to most of the populace on this barge, and they become infected and become zombies. So, with only 6 people left on board, it's a struggle to survive against the undead. And that's the main plot of this book. Now, this book is a very quick read, and it's a quick listen. In fact, I listened to this all in one day. I had a lot of yard work, and I worked in my yard and listened to it. And it's a breeze to go through. A lot of times, I've read a lot of Stephen King, and Stephen King stuff, same with Dean Koontz, they can get weird. This doesn't get weird, it just sticks to the horror. And it is just an, high-paced book. It's action-packed, it doesn't lag. The setup, because you don't know what's happening, and you don't know what this is, there's a whole mystery to this disease that everyone gets, and it's just very... There's that whole fear of not knowing what's happening. And this book is scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's a horror book for a reason. 2 more characters are introduced that I will not spoil for you guys, just to let you know, they are EU characters. They're actually movie characters, so you'll know who I'm talking about. And it actually fits in the canon. This takes place, I'm pretty sure, not long before the original Star Wars movie. So, it is in that time frame. We have the Empire. It's really cool. And I think part of the novelty of this book is the fact that for EU fans, it actually fits in the canon, which proves that the EU ties in nicely for the most part. I mean, there's minor things here or there. None of them are in Death Troopers. Death Troopers is just a great EU book. And actually, it's a great starting EU book. Now, What I mean by starting is you don't have to know much of anything about Star Wars to get something out of Death Troopers. You just need to have seen the movies. You just need to know that the Empire is bad and the Rebels are good, even though the Rebels really aren't in this book. And most of these characters are new to my knowledge. It's really nice to actually have a book that you can just read and you can get a lot out of it without EU in it. And I think it's a good jumping on point to get into the expanded universe. This book is a bit graphic, so it's not for kids. Some of the descriptions and just repulsiveness is just gross. It's nasty, very well described. This book takes its time, and yet it is highly paced. It doesn't start with like zombies all over the place and them eating people. It doesn't start like that. It's very. It takes its time. You have like, I think at least 10 chapters of setting up the whole ship. It's much like I found myself comparing it to the original Alien movie directed by Ridley Scott, where the alien doesn't show up till about halfway through the film in its fully grown form. So you get the sense of the ship and how it's laid out and stuff in this in that movie. Very similar to how you get a setup for The Purge. Now, not all of The Purge is set up this way, but you get a feeling of what the ship's layout is. Also, all the characters in this are likable or are interesting. We don't have any bland, boring characters. All of our main characters have their own like backstories, and it's just very interesting. And it ends really well. There is this tragic moment in the book that I won't spoil, but for the most part it ends pretty well for a zombie story. So yeah, that's Death Troopers. Out of 5 stars, I would get this 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's really good. I couldn't recommend this enough. Join me next time when I review Death Troopers prequel, also written by Joe Schreiber, Star Wars Red Harvest. Until next time, have a nice day.